When we think about what makes the universe tick, we usually go straight to physics, right? But what if there's something deeper? A kind of hidden engine that drives the whole show? Well, ancient mystical texts, especially the Zohar, they tell us that reality isn't just a bunch of stuff. It's a living process. It has an operating system. And the key to understanding that system, like the source code, is hidden in something as simple and as deep as water.
Our journey really kicks off right here, with this incredibly cryptic line from the Zohar. Now, at first glance, it looks pretty straightforward. But you gotta remember, in mysticism, nothing is ever just what it seems. This isn't just a description, it's a formula. Check out the letters HMY, which means the sea stands for the upper waters. And then you have its perfect mirror image, YMH, for the lower waters. That's not a coincidence, not at all. It's a massive clue, pointing to this fundamental polarity, this dynamic dance at the very heart of everything. This is our way in.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with a vision of the cosmos before it all began. Then we'll get into the dramatic moment of division that basically set the stage for reality. From there, we'll decode the secret of these two waters, and then, this is cool, we'll reframe it as a kind of cosmic data stream. We'll even look at a couple of modern blueprints that echo this ancient system, and finally, we'll bring this whole cosmic engine right back down to Earth, into our own lives.
To really get to two, we have to first imagine the one. So I want you to just picture this for a second. Before the Big Bang, before time, before anything, there was just this single, unified ocean, a totally limitless, undifferentiated sea of pure potential. The Zohar says this wasn't an empty void, but the exact opposite. It was a total fullness where literally everything that could ever exist already did, all mixed together in perfect unity. This was the primordial water, the raw material of reality, just waiting. Then day 2 of creation rolls around, and something totally radical happens. The divine command goes out, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the water." This firmament, the Rakia, is this profound act of separation. It literally cleaves that single water in two, and for the first time ever, you have an above and a below. This act creates the distance, the space, that's necessary for any relationship to even exist. Think about it. Without a gap, there's no interaction, no giving and receiving, no flow. Just oneness. So this division, it's the absolute prerequisite for a dynamic universe.
Let's just walk through this cosmic drama step by step. So we start in unity, this state of pure potential. Then comes the word, the command that kicks off the change. That leads to the division, this fundamental split that defines reality as we know it. But here's the thing, that separation immediately creates this powerful tension. The mystics teach that the lower waters, now that they're separate, they cry out. And this isn't a cry of sadness, it's this deep, profound longing to reconnect with the source. This isn't a cosmic screw-up, it's what's called a conflict for the sake of heaven. It's a necessary split that makes a whole new, conscious, and way more powerful kind of union possible.
And that brings us to the Sod, the deep, deep secret behind this whole thing. This act of separation, it set up the fundamental polarity that drives literally everything. It's the ultimate transmitter and receiver, the positive and negative poles that let the current of life flow. This is the core mechanic for how divine energy, or Shefa, flows down, manifests, and creates everything we see and feel. It's the engine of reality, and it's powered by this dynamic dance of two perfectly matched forces.
Okay, now this slide is where we really get into the nuts and bolts of this cosmic engine. The Zohar is super clear about this. The upper waters, Mayin Elyonon, they're given the archetype of masculine, Zakor. This is the principle of giving, of transmitting pure potential. It's an active essence, this constant generous flow coming down from above. On the flip side, you have the lower waters, Mayin Tachtonen, which are described as feminine, Nekeva. And this is the principle of receiving that flow, of containing it, shaping it, giving it form, and in that process, elevating it. It's a receptive form defined by its longing and its desire to be filled. Now, it is absolutely crucial to get this. This has nothing to do with social gender roles. We're talking about two perfectly complementary cosmic functions. One is pointless without the other. They are two essential halves of one creative act. So here's the main takeaway. The division isn't the end of the story, it's the setup. It's what creates the space and the desire that make a much higher form of connection possible. And that connection is called a zuvug. A zuvug isn't just a merger. It's a sacred, conscious, structured union that's designed to be fruitful. See, in that primordial state of oneness, there is no relationship. The separation allows for a real relationship of giving and receiving, of longing and fulfillment. And it's from this amazing union, the zuvug,
between the upper and lower waters that all creation, all the fruit of reality, or Priti Ravia, is born. Okay, now let's try to frame this ancient mystical idea using a model we all get today. Imagine the entire universe is operating like a giant, divine information system. And this isn't just a convenient metaphor. The parallels are actually kind of stunning. We can think of this dynamic between the two waters as a kind of cosmic server-client relationship, a constant two-way data stream that is actively generating reality in real time. Let's break down this generative loop. Step 1 is the request. This is the ascent of the feminine waters. The world below, the client, let's say, sends a signal upwards, a signal of need, of desire, of being ready to receive. Step 2, the transmission. The upper waters, the server, gets the request and responds. This is the descent of the masculine waters. A flow of divine energy, of wisdom, of pure potential is sent down. Step 3, the integration. The lower waters, the client system, actively takes in this data stream. It processes it, gives it a concrete form, and makes it real in our world. Abstract potential becomes actual. And finally, step 4, the fruit. This union creates something brand new in the world, a new idea, a new life, a new reality. And this fruit then becomes the basis for the next cycle. It creates a feedback signal that starts a new, more refined request, and on it goes, this creative loop that sustains everything. You know, this ancient system isn't just some abstract mystical idea or a tech metaphor. It's a fundamental blueprint for basically any complex generative system. And once you grasp this pattern, a receptive below, sparking a flow from a generative above to create something new, I promise you, you start seeing it everywhere.
And this is a great way to think about it. Imagine reality is a cosmic video game, okay? You've got a descending energy stream, things like grace, inspiration, luck, power-ups. That's the flow from above. And then you have a rising energy stream. Your actions, your desires, your intentions, your skills. That's the signal you're sending up. The whole game of life is about balancing these two flows. When you line up your actions with the inspiration that's coming down, you create this perfect union. And what happens? You unlock new levels, new abilities, new worlds. You're literally co-creating the next stage of the game.
Or, for a more technical way of looking at it, we can see this as a perfect piece of cosmic engineering. It's a self-sustaining, bidirectional flow system designed for continuous creative output. The reception node sends out a request, which activates the transmission node. The transmission sends a packet of creative energy, which is then actualized by the receiver. But that active actualization changes the receiver, which then generates a new, updated request. It's a constant feedback loop. It's a dynamic system designed not for staying still, but for perpetual growth. It's really the most elegant engine you can imagine.
So why does any of this matter to us? Because this huge cosmic engine, this dance of separation and union, it's not just happening out there somewhere. It is the fundamental pattern of our own lives. It's happening in our creativity, in our relationships, in our personal growth. That deep desire you have for a project, that's the rising of the lower waters. That flash of genius you get in the shower, that's the descent of the upper waters. And all the hard work of bringing that idea to life, giving it form, that's the integration that produces the fruit. This pattern is just woven into the very fabric of who we are.
So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. Our first impulse is usually to erase all division, right? To just rush back to a comfortable oneness. But the secret of the two waters teaches us that real, fruitful creation actually requires a respectful separation. It requires creating space. Maybe in a relationship, you need better boundaries, a firmament, to create a healthier connection. In your creative work, maybe you need to separate your brainstorming time from your editing time to be more effective. Where in your life can you honor that necessary division in order to create the space for a much deeper, more conscious, and way more powerful union? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.